The Shield faces Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Ryback. Excuse me,
No.
I mean Big Show, because Vicky Guerrero just decided, meh, that's their storyline going into this.
No, Vicky and Teddy Long, who then got lambasted by Booker T for
Oh, come
doing.
on.
Well, you know why she talked to Teddy Long about it too, because it's a tag match.
Well, on top of that, Big Show started feuding with them basically immediately when they made a target at him on SmackDown, and Ryback kind of stopped feuding with them. And then they just threw him in for the old bait and switch, even though we all knew Big Show was a part of the feud and he was going to be a part of the match.
Yeah.
Ryback was going to have a match with Henry anyway.
If you're a huge fan of this kind of match, I'm going to piss you off because I have a lot of gripes with this. Number one, and this is one of the things that I'll throw out here because I'm sure this will create a lot of arguments. I've gone on record before as saying that WWE has fucked the Shield over and over again. Not in the sense that, obviously, I was completely wrong when it came to I thought that John Cena was there to beat the Shield at Elimination Chamber and all that, and that didn't happen. So it's not that the Shield is losing. I think what they're fucking them over with is they should be at a much more important role at this point. I think that what they did is they jumped the gun and they brought them out there to fix the problem of the CM Punk retaining the title situation, and they didn't have a plan. And what we've seen ever since then has just been stalling, because what has the Shield done since then? They've attacked random people and fought random six-man tag matches.
Now listen, here's my argument to what you're going at here. The Shield has not been selfish. The Shield is not out there to make those three guys stars. The Shield is there to protect against injustice, and that's what they are. They're just enforcers. They're sort of like the modern APA. When a job needs to be done, they go out there and they do it, and that's what the Shield is.
They work on their own terms. They just show up. Exactly. It's not part of their shtick.
A counter argument to that, though, they're enforcers without direction. That's the main issue.
I would be more willing to accept the random things if the build to WrestleMania would have been something other than another random three group of people kind of a thing. At any point in time, you have to build towards some kind of an end. At the end of a movie, it's because everybody gets together and you resolve the conflicts. At the end of a feud, I mean, we build up stuff like even the situation with The Rock and Cena. He talks trash, and then they have the match with The Miz, and Rock gets interfered, and then we build up to a match, and then we have the match. And the Shield, it's just another situation where Sheamus has had really nothing to do, so let's keep him in with that. Randy Orton has nothing to do, so let's keep him in with that. Big Show, we'll throw him in there as the other person because we need something for him to do. I don't think that this is really progressing the Shield at all. I think that this is just another stall, and they should have had a match with some kind of meaning behind it, whether it was that they were in a tag team title match and this whole thing is supposed to be once we win the tag titles then the injustice will be over with, or whether it was like the real injustice in this whole thing are the three of you guys and we've been trying to take care of a lot of other things on the side, but you're the three that we want to focus on, and we need to knock you out and then we'll take care of everybody else. But it's just been random things, and that's what I can't stand about this, is because...
And that's why I think it works, though.
But what bothers me about it is, what are we going to see at Extreme Rules? We're going to see another Shield against three random people thing.
I think it's where we're in agreement on the fact that they lack direction, and they need something to sort of cling on to. And as you've said, there's
How about
the Big Show, a Klingon. But
inside jokes.
The fact that you have three random people being thrown together, I think the only person who's, who has ties to this and has competed against them before was Sheamus, even though Orton has his own issues with the Shield.
Yeah, because they've been attacking him ever since they
debuted. And Big Show, yeah. They've been attacking all three of them. That's why they want to face
it. Doesn't
Big Show recently, like ever since after Elimination Chamber, but they've been attacking Orton since back at the end of last year. Sheamus has been feuding with them before, like right after the Royal Rumble.
But again, with Show's situation, they've been flip-flopping him. And they basically like face, heel, Now,
well, that's what he's been his whole career, though. Like he'll
face and heel doesn't matter with the thing with the Shield, though. The Shield and him have had problems for a while. The whole face and heel flip flopping thing with him, Sheamus and Orton, is just because he's a heel and they weren't. They can't trust him, and he wants revenge on the Shield so bad
that he's going to team up with them,
just to team up with them, just to face the Shield, because he knows he can't do it by himself because they've been built up to be this threat.
It just seems really random, and teaming up with people to face. Big Show was never the guy who would team with someone to face 3 individuals.
Well, do you think Jericho and Edge would team with Team WWE to take on the Nexus like 3 years ago?
I know, but it would look a lot better in my mind if he was like, you know what, I'm going to go and gain revenge myself. Try and get revenge, then get taken down again.
Well, he got taken down like twice.
Well, see, my problem with it,
if he rejected their help.
My problem is that we can all attest, because we look at backstage things and we're not blind to the non-kayfabe kind of a situation. We can all attest to the fact that obviously the Big Show is not in this match because they wanted the Big Show to be in this match. They wanted Big Show to be in this match because they wanted a match for Big Show and they needed another person in this match. It's not a storyline where they were going, all right, but then when it comes to WrestleMania, we'll have Randy Orton, Big Show, and Sheamus, and we'll build up to that, and that'll mean something. This is thrown together because they wanted these people to have a match.
Yes, but at the same time,
it's business dictated the placement of the people as opposed to story led to this, and that's what bothers me. Because when we have Del Rio and Jack Swagger, that actually has a story behind it. And I might not be the biggest fan of it, but it has a story. Triple H and Brock Lesnar has a story. Undertaker and Punk, it was, it's a little bit more, we needed somebody for the Undertaker, we'll pick Punk, and then we'll do a storyline afterward. But with this, it's very much when we had the people with John Laurinaitis and Teddy Long, where we just went, we're going to have a bunch of people that are in the match. Who do we have that doesn't have a match?
They didn't decide to do.
But they
didn't decide to do.
You know what I mean? This actually has some build to it. Like the Shield, they have been attacking these guys. They have a reason to come together.
But they've only been doing it after they figured out what their main matches were at WrestleMania and couldn't figure out something else for the Shield.
You could say the same thing for Swagger and Del Rio.
Look what time of year it is. Like, I think these are 3 big enough stars for them that even for their first WrestleMania, they're fair enough opponents. Like, you got to remember, this is the Shield's WrestleMania debut. Mm-hmm. Who else better do you think they'd be fighting at this stage in their career? I think this is a very acceptable first WrestleMania match for them.
If it would have had a storyline, it would be a different story for me. But
it does have a bit of a storyline, though, that reaches all the way back to December.
It's got a WWE enough storyline.
The whole storyline overall is the Shield have been invading, and these are the 3 guys who have stepped up to represent Team WWE
and haven't backed down.
Up to those guys.
But we've seen that the past 5 pay-per-views.
Not really.
It was Ryback and Sheamus and Randy Orton are going to step up and take care of.
The only one who stopped feuding with them, who was feuding with them for a while, was Ryback, and he went to feud with Mark Henry. Team Hell No didn't continue feuding with them. John Cena, it was something for him to do to kill time before he faced The Rock.
But the same thing happens with Big Show. That's the problem. Is we've had Sheamus and Randy Orton have been a part of this for quite a while.
Yes.
But we had Ryback and Team Hell No, and they were the ones that were going to stop them. And then they didn't. And then we had John Cena as a part of it. I'm going to be the one to stop him, and then he
couldn't stop him.
Jericho, I'm going to be the one to stop him, or whatever. Now Big Show, I'm going to be the one to stop him. What's to say that next month they don't just have somebody like, not to say Triple H or whatever, but just to throw a random name out there, what if Triple H replaces Big Show and we have Triple H, Sheamus, and Randy Orton against the Shield again, and they're the team that's going to stop them? You can't only do that.
Why not?
Because it's so fucking repetitive.
Well, it's repetitive, but what people remember are victories. And when they win again, which they will, if people are going to remember that. They don't remember.
What else do you do with this group of 3 guys? Like, you can't. You're going to put them in 6-man tag matches. What else can they do? Like, these don't look like guys that are just going to go after the tag team championships. That doesn't make sense. Like,
I don't understand what I don't understand what the opposition to swapping opponents is. Isn't that what you want to do? I mean, it seems like people are unhappy if you have the same match repeating, and now you're getting something where it's a swap of opponents, and now you're unhappy with that too?
This is the only same
wouldn't wanna
opponent
see
they've
the-
had is Sheamus. This is the only person that they've gone 2 pay-per-views against. Big Show and Orton are completely different opponents. They've never faced them before.
Well, no,
They
see,
have a reason to face them too.
to me, the difference between
Yeah.
swapping the opponents and not is that they're both wrong. I don't see. I certainly would rather see this match than to see Sheamus, Randy Orton, or what was the team with the John Cena one? Ryback, John Cena, and Sheamus.
Yeah.
I would rather see, obviously, this match than that because that's another repeat. But at the same time, I don't want to see this either because I think that the Shield should be doing something more important or
But
something
again,
other than just 3 random people against them. Because if next month at
they're not
Extreme
3
Rules-
random people, though.
They're
Well,
3 former world champions that they've been feuding with for months.
Well,
Like,
Big
For
Show-
at
besides
least
Big
a
Show.
month, it's been built up. It's been built up since after Elimination Chamber, and that's fair enough time. And especially, I still say, who else are they going to face? These are 3 pretty big-name people for these 3...
3 former world champions.
3 faction members to be debuting against at the biggest pay-per-view of the year.
Well, see,
I'm
my
going to keep testing to that.
my whole
If you
thing.
What
wanna
else
jump
should you
on-
expect them to be doing?
If you want to jump on this, you have to jump on the Slider Del Rio thing because that wasn't even planned to be a thing until Big Show's contract thing came up and they decided to put the title on Del Rio.
I
So-
actually am going to jump on that too, because my whole thing is even though it's built up from WrestleMania, it's only built up because WrestleMania is there. It hasn't been built up. It's been the same as when they were building up to
That's to fill a
eliminate.
card.
Yeah, but it's
it's
the
still
same as
gonna be a
when you were
good
building up
match.
to Elimination Chamber and you had John Cena. It's the same amount of build, and it's the same storyline. It's just you swap.
It's been the same storyline since November.
Yeah, and that's what I'm tired of.
What
And
else did
I'm
they
not
do
tired
in
of it.
that
It's
scene?
still entertaining me, and I still like the fact that they're winning. I still like the fact that they have credibility. They've been built up to the point where it's like nobody can stop them. So
No
a team
group
with
of
John
30
Cena on it can stop them. If a team of Big Show and Orton, even if they're along with Sheamus, I don't think they have a chance of beating them either. I think the Shield are going to win again. It entertains me, and they're actually winning.
Well,
They're
I'm,
doing something the Nexus couldn't do.
I'm
The
hoping
Nexus
that
flopped because they never won a single big match ever.
I'm hoping that what we
Shield
get here.
Testify.
I'm hoping what we get here is that they not only have the Shield win, but they also have something change, and we don't just have another Shield against 3 people at Extreme Rules, especially not these 3 again. But we can go back and forth with this all the time, but that's my opinion on that. Something that I wanted to throw out there that is a big topic when it comes to this is the Randy Orton heel turn. We've been hearing that Randy Orton wants to turn heel for a long
For like
time,
2 years.
and for a very long time that he wants to turn heel. He's even flat out said it on Twitter. And there were rumors that he was going to face Sheamus either for the World Heavyweight Championship or just in a singles match at WrestleMania. So I want to get your opinions on what's going to happen with that, and I want to, before we go over whether or not he actually is going to turn heel, I'm going to kind of bridge this together with some people have been thinking that Randy Orton is not only going to turn heel here, but he's going to turn heel and be the leader of the Shield. Now, when I keep saying that I want more direction in the Shield, this is completely not what that is. I think that is total BS. There's no shot at that happening. I can see why people are thinking that, because a lot of fans have this tendency where they go, we need to have a big like the master plan behind every little thing, where you need to have that manager that controls everybody, or you need to have that big main event superstar that's the head of a faction. I don't see that as being this kind of situation at all, especially not Randy Orton. If anybody was going to be a part of the Shield as a figurehead, they would have gone with Paul Heyman, and they didn't. So that time is long past, and the Randy Orton heel turn, what do you guys think? Do you guys think he's going to turn heel here? Obviously, we could all pretty much rule out that he's not going to be the leader of the Shield, right?
Right.
Oh, I fucking hope not.
Right. Does anybody actually think that he will?
Yes, he
Nope.
will. I think
I
him
do
turning
not think he
heel.
will.
I think him turning heel leads to how the Shield wins. I think that it's been long enough, and I feel like that's where Orton and Sheamus go after this. I think Orton just walks out on Sheamus and Big Show because they've been teasing it. They've been teasing, can these 3 work together? Can they trust Big Show? Maybe it's not Big Show they have to worry about.
Maybe it's
Randy Orton that's going to turn on the team and just, like he wants to get back to being a heel. Maybe his reasoning for why, because I thought about it. I was like, is there a reason for why he would turn heel? He feels like he needs to be a loner to have success again. He hasn't held the title in a while. Maybe he feels like pairing up with Sheamus and Big Show and doing stuff like that and is kind of taking him the wrong direction. And he needs to be all about Randy Orton and not about what the fans think or what these guys need or whatever. And that kind of gets him off the Shield's radar, too. Because they're going to lose to the Shield. So they're going to fail again. So I feel like that's how Orton goes in a different direction. That's how they get Sheamus away from the Shield, too.
Now, what I think is going to happen here, I do think that the Shield's going to win. And I think that they're going to win by not Randy Orton turning heel yet, but I think that Randy Orton's going to take the pinfall. And this is kind of similar to the situation that I brought up with Rhodes Scholars. And I think that this is actually more likely to happen than the Rhodes Scholars thing. But I could see Sheamus hitting a brogue kick on Randy Orton by accident. And the Shield capitalizing to win. And then an argument taking place either at WrestleMania really quickly or they build upon it more on Raw, where Randy Orton, maybe even he uses the same scenario that you brought up about him saying, I've been dealing with you fucking people for too long and you're just getting in the way and that kind of a thing. And then he turns heel on Sheamus and we have Sheamus against Randy Orton at Extreme Rules.
We could have a similar situation as to Cena and Ryback, where basically one of them is outside brawling with the Shield. Orton's left on his own. He ends up getting taken out and pinned, and like sort of Sheamus only comes in by a nose hair for the save, and Orton comes out with like "Where were you?" sort of thing, and you can see the tension kind of slowly rising between the two. As to the next night maybe they try and do the match again and they end up having Orton cost them the match against the Shield, and then turning into a situation was like, oh, you just left me out there, and then going back and forth on that. I see it's a foregone conclusion that the Shield wins, because they can't just throw a random team together and have them beat the Shield. It doesn't make sense. Neither of these guys will get anything over it.
Right.
And it's, it'll have no place. If they were going to leave these guys permanently as a team, maybe, then I could maybe justify it.
But they're not.
So. No,
yeah,
we
exactly.
don't. This is
so
to fill the space. So
yeah, the best idea is to give the Shield another win, and then have them go into a direction where they'll, maybe even go for the tag team titles, because the team does need a proper direction, need a proper goal now. Because the whole avenging, the WWE, or avenging justice for whomever in the WWE, that's all there and sort of done and gone. And once they've cemented themselves with this win, they will need something else to fixate themselves on. And acquiring championships is probably going to be the next step.
I don't think it's that. I think it's a bigger storyline is what they go after next. Something bigger, something like a Triple H or a Vince or somebody.
No, I doubt that, because I don't think Triple H is going to stick around, but we can go more into that in regards to his thing with Lesnar. I believe that they are going to end up being part of a title storyline, whether it's going to be for a singles championship or as a team. They're going to end up, being like the Freebirds and defending the tag titles with mixed members. They need some sort of trophy, so to speak, to give the team even more legitimacy and a goal to sort of hang on to. And it would make the tag team title situation rather interesting, as what you stated with the whole Kane and Bryan situation. It's gotten complacent, it's gotten stale, and giving the Shield that purpose would kick it up a notch. In terms of this match, I'm interested. I'm intrigued by it, because I want to see what happens. But it's not. I haven't got the same expectation that I had originally when they were facing Ryback and Team Hell No.
Yeah,
you could say that there you've got your heel team of relevance to end Hell No's tag title reign after WrestleMania. Then if the Shield does go in a championship direction, then that could be your heel team to take the titles off of them. They're the most relevant group.
It would be the most logical choice.
It'd be better in my mind than Ziggler and Biggie Langston.
Yeah,
yes,
no,
I agree
agreed.
with that, for sure.
Because if they end up taking the titles and transitioning to another team, you don't really have any credible teams out there, and the Shield are the only ones that have shown that they're purely dominant, that they're credible, that they would actually bring more prestige to the titles, so to speak, because they will have more legitimacy. You have teams queuing up to beat these guys. You'll have people attempting to find a way around this Freebird rule that they've got, where like any of the three members would be able to defend the title, so you don't know who to prepare for.
We haven't. Oh God, I have to don't fucking do this. Evan Bourne's supposed to be returning. Have Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston and R-Truth be the three people that beat them. It's fucking the R-Boom Society kind of a thing. God damn.
You're gonna give all your viewers nightmares now, Tony.
Grandmaster EB.
Oh man.
No, they lose to Tons of Funk. What?
They bring in another big person to be the third tomato.
Yeah.
Does anybody think that the Shield's going to lose, or does everybody agree that the Shield's going to win this match?
Yeah,
That's the general consensus.
And that if for some reason they don't fucking win the match, then it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we
that
should
makes
just,
no sense.
The only scenario where the only scenario where the big babyface team should win is if they don't plan on doing anything with the Shield directly after WrestleMania, and I do think that they have plans for them long term. So there's literally no reason for the Shield.
They're going to be around for the long haul.
Yeah, the last time that we all guessed something about the Shield, Peyton went the opposite way, and he was the only one who got it right. So Peyton, do you want to think that the Shield loses here?
Oh no, absolutely not. I mean, I pride myself as being the longest, biggest supporter of the Shield, and I'm going to continue supporting the Shield. I think they're one of the hottest things going for the company right now. Certainly hotter than I think all three of the other guys, the other team combined right now.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Well, I believe in the Shield's potential. I don't necessarily believe in WWE capitalizing on it. So
I want to say something else too. To something that was you were talking about them getting the tag titles before. I can't agree with that, because going with what we were talking about before, their story was never selfish. It was never about them showing off, and I feel like putting a title on them, or them even chasing a title like that would go against that. They're fighting for this greater good, for this higher cause, and I think, I don't know, maybe Vince, but you could certainly do one of the GMs. Maybe they start going after Brad Maddox. We could find something for Brad Maddox to do for a change.
Apart from cutting bad promos.
The next part we're going to do is part 9, the Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger match for the World Heavyweight Championship.